Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to the Let's Play, and today we're going to explore what is arguably the hardest part of this game, or well, at least I think it is. Because the previous time that I actually tried to play this game, this was the absolute horrible part of the game. Now, I am talking about the Tangar Mountains, and why are the Tangar Mountains so horrible? It's because they're gigantic. It is one gigantic dungeon, and you have to clear it in, well, technically in one go, because you can't save anywhere on the way. Well, there's one save point, but that's at the end, so that doesn't matter. Now, first of all, we're going to have to pick our party, and that's going to be the most difficult part right now. Because we did get Liana, and she is level 26, I checked. But, on the other hand, she's not really that useful. Now, she is faster than Luciana, and she does have good spells. But Luciana has that amazing air cone spell, which saps spellcasters out of their mana. So, Coriol obviously has his good sides, because he is actually immune to magic. And then Sarah is an amazing cleric, so you know. In general, I think we just want to stick with this party. It is also the main cast, and you know, I like playing with the main cast. I feel comfortable with them. I know how to play with them. I kind of have a good feel for them. And also, another important part of Sarah is obviously she knows the attack up. Well, she doesn't know attack up yet, but she's gonna learn it. Like, what level is she? I think next level she's gonna learn like attack up, which is another really great spell. So once she learns that, we're actually going to be solid on the way of having her be an amazing spellcaster in general. We can enter the Tangarian counter. Now the counter doesn't really have much. These people will talk to you and they'll explain some stuff to you. I think there's one shop, but it's only a buy shop. Yeah, you can't sell anything here. You can buy MP reserves, but if you look at the price, it is 550 for one. And that's 8 NP. So we are going to say no thank you to that. We could buy all these tonics, which arguably are good, so we're going to buy 41. But you don't want to buy all of them. Now what you can do is you can buy the maximum amount of medikits. Medikits are really good. But other than that, there's not really all that much important that you want to buy. And we will check these crates, they don't have anything. The dialogue in this place is very not interesting, so it doesn't matter. Welcome to the Tangar Mountains. Now, the Tangar Mountains are a very tricky place, because in general, this entire place is one big trick. Now, there are a lot of chests. No, did I accidentally try to run? Yeah, I did not mean to try to run here. This entire place is comprised of a couple of fights, some of which you're supposed to win, some of which you, well, don't have to win, but it's a lot more useful if you do. So we're going to try and actually make our way through the Tangar Mountains whilst collecting as many as possible of the goodies that you can possibly find in this place. Now what that means is we're going to burn through our healing items quite fast. Now the first thing you want to collect is this pot here, 3 express foods. Not really that relevant, but you know, it is the intent that we actually collect as much as possible, so you know, we're going to collect it. Now these bees are not really that dangerous, they just deal decent damage. Not really a big threat, but definitely a threat nonetheless. So that's just one of the things that you can do in this area. Now, the ivy nests and the bees, they're not really the most difficult fight, but you still want to pay some attention to them. They're not exactly weak, so don't underestimate them. That's all I have to say about it. Now we're gonna go up these stairs. Now you don't want to check these pots. Trust me, you do not want to check them. They have 3 trick imps, and these imps are very annoying. They will give decent gold, but they are very annoying. Actually, let's do one of them. We can fight one of them. The issue is that all pots in this small space actually have one. And each of them actually casts a different spell. Which is what makes this kind of tricky to handle. Okay, that one actually just ran away straight up. So we're gonna hit this one with the sylphs. So the fact that the first one ran away is pretty good, because that's going to make this a lot easier. It's only because it means there's only 3 of them, obviously. But that also means that we're not gonna get the real gold. So now that fight went a lot better than I thought it would. So we can actually just go ahead and there's more in this one. Just saying. So keep in mind there's going to be one of these in every single pot right now. And that's kind of what you want to be careful about. Because he does know Water Beam, he also knows Death, and the other one knows Ground Clouds, I think. I don't know, I don't remember which it is, but the other one also knows a very annoying spell. So all of them know this one spell each. Now they do drop 1,200 gold, which is nice. And if you leave the area and you come back, the pots will have respawned. So in general, you can actually farm this place for gold if that's what you want to do. Now as you can see, we defeated all the imps in this place and we learned 2 spells, namely attack up and another spell. Now I think if you go to the left here, there's nothing except, and that is one of the things that is very easy to miss, especially in this area because it's not all that clear. Now I say especially in this area, the reason that I say especially here is because there is a different path. Like, it would not be the first thing that you look at. In most dungeons, if there is like one thing, wow, I can't talk today. If there is like nothing else to explore, you're going to easily spot some secret paths because there's nothing else, you know? But if you have no reason to assume that there is something there, then you're rarely going to find a secret path, unless you're a really good explorer. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make here. Because if you go over here, this one vine actually goes down all the way, and you can find an emerald shield here. Now you might be wondering, emerald shield, okay, is it good? Yes, it is. It's going to be better than the keeper shield, which is nice. The keeper shield, not really worth it, only 2 mind points, 4 defense points less. Doesn't really matter at all, but you know, you don't want to trade it. So that's what you can find down here, and that is the only item that you will be finding at this point. Now, you want to go back up, and then at this point you actually want to go up the stairs here. Now this spot is actually safe. Let's start with the right side, just for the simplicity of it. Like, you have to make choices in things like these, and I'm gonna choose to actually start with the right side. You don't have to, but it's what I want to do right now. This spot is going to contain an Ecstasia hat, which is obviously not the most relevant item here. Now there's 2 paths, there's the doorway and there is the regular, not doorway, obviously. And there's the regular stairs. So you kinda gotta make a choice, okay, what do you want to explore first? And you might have noticed, like in the beginning, we actually saw another doorway like this, and we chose to not go through it. These doorways lead to the cave system of the map, and the cave system is quite expansive. It is why this dungeon is so difficult to get through, and the encounters inside the caves are nothing to scoff at. Which is why I've decided to first try to collect the items here that aren't in there, and then we'll go into the cave system and see what we can do there. So it is a very subtle approach to this dungeon, well, let's call it a dungeon, to this map, for lack of a better word. It is a very slow approach to this, and I know that that might seem a bit boring, but it is so very easy to die in the Tang Mountains purely because of the difficulty of the enemies that you might encounter once they start coming at you in high quantities. Because like right now it's pretty much okay, you know. Sarah's fine, her mana is fine, she can heal you up whenever you want. Now this spot is going to contain the Lady Maria bracelet, and the Lady Maria bracelet is a very good bracelet. You can equip it to Luciana. It's going to lower her stats a tiny little bit compared to spell devotion. 70 less mind power, but the rest is going to go up quite a lot. Especially the speed is very relevant here, so I would definitely do it. And then you can give Sarah the spell devotion if you want, just for her spells to hit a little bit harder. Now other than that, there's nothing here, so we're going to continue to the east. Now there's 2 pots here. These pots don't give anything. And there's 2 locations you can check out. Now south of here is another pot, which also contains nothing. And then down here there is the Aeolith's monolith. Now the Aeolith's monolith, there is nothing special here. There's no items here or anything. This place is pretty much just aesthetic, but it also really helps in trying to orient yourself where the hell you are on this map. Because as I said, this map is so ridiculously big that you're very easily going to get lost at what parts you've explored, what parts you haven't explored. And by knowing that the monolith is here, we actually know, okay, the monolith's here. Now, I'm not sure if any of these finds lead anywhere. They don't. Does give you a bit of a view of what the rest of the map down there looks like, but I wouldn't say that that's too relevant here. More knowledge about the rest of the map is always nice, obviously, but I wouldn't say that it's ever necessary to scout ahead or anything. You can just brute force your way through this dungeon. It's just that the sheer quantity of fights that you'll be going through do require a good setup, a good amount of character levels, and obviously you will need the right amount of healing items. So these are more trick pots, apparently. I did not know that there were more trick pots than those in the beginning, which I guess is fair. So this is an actual trick fight, because they're actually fighting this time, instead of running away. And we'll get 1,200 gold. But the others don't contain them, so that's fine. Other than that, the blue dwarfs attack us, that's fine. Blue dwarfs aren't that strong. It is when you start encountering phosphorus dwarfs, which are green dwarfs, or berserk dwarfs, which are purple dwarfs. It's at that point that it actually gets a little bit difficult. I think they're also called assassin dwarfs, the purple ones, not sure, but I think. That is kind of when it gets difficult, because they're actually pretty strong. Now, you will notice that, oh, Jesus, so many fights. Do you see what I mean with sometimes the fights get a little bit over-encumbering? So we're gonna check the right doorway first. And that actually leads us into a fire cave. What? Okay, fire cave it is. These mushrooms don't do anything. Oh, okay, so these are foci. Now, I call them foci. You could call them focusless, it doesn't matter. The point is, these things can bounce. And what is bounce? Bounce basically means they attack you for quite a lot of damage, and then they kill themselves. So you want to kill these things as fast as possible. Now, they can also defend. And that is what you're going to be relying on. They'll defend, you kill one of them or two of them that aren't defending, and then after that, you can actually... Now, you can choose melee. And I will show you some moves or combinations of moves that might work better than the ones you're trying. So, in this case, we see, okay, Dryad's Rock and Turquoise Tornado actually deal really good damage to these things. So, you might want to consider using Dryad's Rock and Turquoise Tornado on them. It's a choice. Okay, so we see a bit of a treasure room on the right. So, let's start by going right, I guess. Mr. Muscle. So, Mr. Muscle is basically like Mr. Colossus from earlier. Not that strong, just a lot of HP and a bit pretty tanky. So, you just want to beat him like you beat any other enemy of this kind. You hit him until he dies. Now, you don't waste spells, don't waste mana on this. As I keep saying, the mana in this place is pretty important. You want to have enough mana to make it true. So the last thing you want to do is waste your mana on something like this. Now, this is a pod room, a barrel room, with a lot of stuff in it. You want to check every single barrel here. Even if you see that there's nothing in it because of me. Because I might be missing something here. Which is going to contain 2 diamonds, a balance shield, and a dwarven mace. Okay. A sapphire. Sapphire, as it calls it, but whatever. That's a sapphire. An egress certificate. And that's it. Wait, no. Okay, that is it. So that is all that we actually found here, which is quite interesting. Now, I'm not exactly sure what else we're supposed to find in here. But this is a lot of treasure. This is a lot of treasure and a lot of treasure items. So I would personally say that we're just going to... Okay, so this is an assassin dwarf and a lake tarantula. Now, these tarantulas are what I mentioned when I said they're dangerous. You can try to air cone them, because if you air cone them in time, they will not be able to hit you. But it is the water beam that they use that is very dangerous. Because water beam deals a lot of damage to you. Now, they can only use it once. That is the advantage. They can only use 1 water beam at a time. But if there's 3 of them, and each of them is hitting you from 1 water beam, then you might have guessed that it's not going to be pleasant. Now, this other enemy is a fire. It's a very dangerous enemy, because it uses Ostrolov, and beyond that, it's actually not that strong. Now, if you use air cone on it, it won't be able to use another spell, which is obviously why you're going to use air cone on it, and then you want to wave up and just continue the journey here. Now, in all honesty, there is not that much treasure left in this section, so if you want to just egress out and not come back, that is totally fine. There is no real need to do what I'm doing and just keep going manually. I'm just not really a fan of using egress to then continue back up. But for now, we're just going to continue. So, we're going to go back up, and then we're going to, I think the upper area is. But yeah, definitely one of the biggest grievances of this place is just how many people spawn here. I mean, I'm not lost. I know where I am. And even if I was lost, I could use egress. Okay, so where are we now? That's the big question. Because we're literally in one gigantic cave. And there is no way to orient yourself right now because we have not explored any other side yet. So random is gonna get knocked out by this, and that's the sucky part. That's gonna happen a lot if you let these things do. Random will die, you'll have to revive random, and that's where the stupid part starts. So random died, as you can see, and we're going to try to find our way. Ice Cave Sword. Let's see if that's better than the Gooder Sword, but I doubt it. Oh wow, it actually is better than the Gooder Sword. Is it a relic? No, it's a normal sword. That's kind of lame. Is this something you can... No? Okay. So we found the Ice Cave Sword, and there is a pathway to the left here, to the right here. So we're gonna go down the pathway on the right. Let's see what where that brings us. Now you might have noticed, but depending on the type of weapon that random has equipped, so like a blade sword, a blunt sword, or whatever, his attack animation will actually change. Just a tiny little detail, his attack animation does change depending on your weapon, just like anyone else. And it's always a combination of the two swords. So now in this section we're actually in a little bit of a crap, because this fire spirit will be able to attack, and then the phosphor dwarfs will attack. And altogether that will knock out Sarah. Now we do pick up the kill here, and then we can try to go for the revive with Luciana so that Sarah still gains the experience. Luciana luckily evades here, and then it's going to die, so that's good. Coriol is actually going to level up to level 17 at this point, so... We're making good progress here. Now there is a ton of pots here. A nature diamond. Nice, nice. More diamonds is always good. Now as long as this thing actually spouts Ostaloth, there's no point in doing anything except just physically hitting it. I actually missed a kill on it, because that tarantula survived on like 1 health. So that means random took damage that he should not have taken. So nothing except that nature diamond. More pots. Nothing. And then there's a door here, which leads outside. So let's go up these stairs, bridge, a vine, a mermaid, something like a mermaid there, another vine here. See, so this is what I mean. This is the triple lake tarantula, and what you kind of want to do, you just want to defend on its first turn. Everyone's going to take damage. Random is going to take a lot of damage because he's not that good with special attacks. But once the initial assault is over, you can just use Tsunami, and you'll all be fine because these things cannot use Water Beam twice. And that is basically how you deal with them. You let them use Water Beam once, and then you just start spamming them with normal attacks. How is that thing using Water Beam again? What? What? It's not supposed to be able to use Water Beam twice. It doesn't have the MP to do that. Because Water Beam costs the same amount of MP for us as it does for them. 14. And they have 12 left after using it. Oh! There is a safe flame here. What? There is an actual safe flame here. In hard mode. That is very rare. There are almost no safe spots in hard mode. So finding one here is incredibly rare. I am so surprised that we found a safe spot. I mean, it's obviously awesome because that means we know where we can return to if we ever want to if we ever get too long into the video. Okay, so now Sarah actually learned a very valuable spell, namely Nymph's Bara, because it actually drains. It drains their MP, as just like the previous spell did. So what we're going to do is we're going to equip her with the speed ring so that she's super fast, hopefully faster than the tarantulas. And then she's actually going to be able to sap their MP before that they can cast their spell. Okay, so there is a vine that goes up. So let's go up there. Let's see where this brings us. Okay, okay. This brings us to the other side of the lake. Now, this other side of the lake is not that important right now. I know where we are, give or take. No, Sarah is still outsped by these things. That is really annoying because that means random is probably gonna die now. No, she outspeeds one of them. So it's pretty close. Like, she's outsped, but she's not outsped by a lot because obviously it doesn't take long for her to actually get her turn. In fact, she actually outsped one of the spiders, so that's good. So probably a level up or two will mean she actually outspeeds. Now you can't go down here, which is a very long way down. I am so disorientated right now because I know how to get back there and I know how to get back. I know how to get back to that lakeside. Like, I know where to find it and how to get there. But I did not know that there is a connection to the other side. Which is kind of weird to me because I thought that the entire part that we did was actually separate from the rest, but it's not. There is a way in and there is a way out without ever needing to go to the cave. So as you can see, these tarantulas are not leaving us alone. Luckily, Nymph Spara is actually a free spell because Sarah can use it as often as she wants and she's going to sap the MP out of these tarantulas. So this is actually a completely free spell. And then you can just use Tsunami if you want to heal up for free, because these things will not have the mana left to actually do anything to you. So really, Nymph Spara is definitely the best move to use here. And you also see Sarah's mana bar is actually starting to rise a bit. She's starting to have way more mana than she used to. Now you will go into a cave system if you keep going down here. And this cave system is one of the harder ones, because it's pretty big. But it is pretty simple to navigate, because each of them actually goes into a dead end at some point. Like, that is kind of a rule of the thumb. If something actually ends up in a dead end, just backtrack, go to the next part, and continue. Now you see we actually outspeed the fire here, which means that it won't be able to cast Osterloff, and that means that we will not be taking the damage from Osterloff. I really hope that's how you pronounce that move, because I have no clue. What did we learn? Luciana? Was it you? No? Who leveled up? Luciana has the least XP, so she's the one that leveled up. But what did she learn? Turquoise Tornado, Air Cone, Water Beam, B-Bolt, Mega Bolt, Blitz, B-Freeze, Mega Freeze, Freeze. Huh. Oh, Mega Bolt. Okay. Nothing here. Or here. Or here. A Mithril here. So as I keep seeing, and here you can see the ice cave that we were in a second ago. And now here is where it starts branching, because now you can actually walk across these skeletons. None of them bounced. Actually, in this entire video, none of them have actually bounced so far, because I said that they can bounce, but they're not doing it. I don't know why. Okay, and then there, right here, there's log, and then here's a door. So this door will lead you outside to this section right here. Now you might remember this place, because those are actually the doors that Random said he couldn't jump to earlier because they were too high. So you see, these caves and these places do actually all connect to each other in some way or another. It's just pretty hard sometimes to figure out which is what. 210 gold, some pots. I don't think that these pots contain any loot except for the gold. Nope. So we're going to continue. It's straight ahead. That's the useful part here. There is nothing else we can do. But here comes a split, and this split is actually pretty huge. So we're going to start by going down. Now you can maneuver between these spikes pretty easily. And also it doesn't really matter where between the spikes you go, because the spikes don't deal damage or anything, so it's fine. Now, the flame actually lost all its mana, meaning it's not going to be a threat here. It's not going to be able to hit us. Now in theory, if you really care about all your health and all your stats and everything, then you might want to hit the dwarfs first and then hit the fire, because it can't use anything, it can't attack, it only has spells. But it really does not matter at all. The dwarves aren't that big a threat, honestly. Now there is another rope which you can climb up with. And that is going to actually lead us out of this part. Now, as you can see, we are valuably outspeeding them, and we are sapping them of all their mana, and that's how you want to do this entire section. Because Sarah is not going to run out of mana as long as she gets to absorb 8 mana from something. Is it 8 or is it 18? I think it's 18. Yeah, 18. So we're going to climb up here, and this is going to be Lady Diana's Sepultura. So this is one of the 13 cinders, obviously. And here we're going to find Lady Diana's first bow. Now, I don't think that this is going to be way less good than the bow that we found earlier. Now, at this point, we have explored the entire subsection here. And we are actually going to return to explore the left section of this map, because that's where we wanted to go at first. I didn't go there because I knew that there was like another relic here, and I just wanted to show it off that this is where the Sepultura is for the 13 Cinders quest. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to do a separate video on all the chests, on all the Sepulturas, and how to get to each of them, because that seems like a kind of long-winded video. There's 13 of them, as obviously stated. I might, if we ever get to that point in the game, because honestly, this game is pretty damn long, and we're already at episode 7, 8. There's gonna be a lot of episodes before we can even get to any of the side quests, especially the 13 Cinder side quest, which I don't even know how to get. I don't even know what the point of that quest is. I only know that there's 13 graves or so spread amongst all the maps, and you kind of just gotta figure out which of them is the one. Some of them will have a dialogue test, and then that means that they're a 13 Cinders quest spot, but I don't know which are which. So we're gonna get hit by the Phospho Dwarf. All of it's fine. As you can see, the Ostolov is not dealing any damage because it does not have any mana, so that's fine. Actually, we're just gonna use Tsunami at this point because why not? Recover that health. We're gonna get hit again, so that Tsunami was pretty pointless here. But Sarah taking damage does not matter because she can just recover it next time once she uses Nymphspora again. So we're going to go down here, and this is going to be a text. Ancient Dwarfs. So this is not interesting, apparently. So there is the path to the left, and then you can go up. Now I think, judging by the way that this leads us, I'm pretty sure that this place is going to have some loot. Hopefully good loot. We'll see about that soon enough. But I have high hopes. So let's see what we get. Now obviously, at this point, if you look at our gold, we actually have a lot of gold purely because we keep beating these enemies. And I really would suggest, even if it's a bit boring, to just keep beating every random encounter you meet. Milk of the Brave. So that's going to be that defense boosting item. But you might have noticed, there is actually... You can actually squeeze in here. There's nothing here though. But you always want to try that. Like, try squeezing yourself into small spots. Even if you think that they're not going to have anything, you never know that they actually do. So Sarah's luck with the water spider, with the water tarantula, is actually pretty low right now. She is just so slightly too slow to actually do anything to them. It's a real pity. Now, obviously, we are going to have to wrap up right about now because the video is already 27 minutes long. And I don't really want to make it too long. But we're not going to egress out of here because we are in the middle of this dungeon. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to make this a two-part video. Meaning, you can just continue watching, and we will be picking up where we left here in the next episode, and then we'll see where to go. Now, we can go up here. So maybe if we get somewhere out of this end, we might be able to actually save somewhere. I don't know. I don't think that there's going to be another save flame, but you never know. Fairy wings. Nope. 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 And then another encounter, so... I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm not entirely sure. It kind of depends on when we get a save here. Until then, though, we'll just try and face these encounters. It should be fine. So making our way through these encounters is gets easier by the second because you get stronger by the second, obviously. Iced water, nice. Seems gross as hell, but whatever. Another encounter. One of the big things is, at some point, this really gets quite repetitive. And by repetitive, I just mean the specific fight. Because once you get Nymphspora, you kind of know what to do. You know that you have to just connect Nymphspora, drain them of their MP, and then start swiping at them. And that will work. Like, it is a very viable strategy for the main part. Now there's going to be a door down here, and I don't think that this actually leads to anything important, but we're gonna explore it all. That's the point here. We actually go first with the nymphs this time, which means that neither of these things will be able to use anything. Which is good, because that's a free fight. This is a free fight. Now I know there are some points in the game where you can actually buy gear for... Oh, that's dirty. That is dirty, because that's the end. And that stupid ice rock is in the way. You can't get there because of the icy rock. Now obviously that's on purpose. Like, that's just a big tease. That is so rude. Ah! Okay. Luciana apparently fainted. Like, that happens so often. Luciana just faints and I'm like, oh, what? Oh, she fainted. Because she faints at the most random times. For real. She faints at times that I'm really like, wait, what? What happened? When did she faint? How did she faint? How did she take damage? So we're gonna try out the lower section here, which is full of craps that don't deal damage to us. These barrels better have red parsley. Okay, that's it. So guys, as I said, this is where we're going to leave off the video with the crabs. I hope to see you all next time, and in the next video we will obviously be completing the exploration of the Tangarian Mountains, hopefully. So see you all next time, stay on the Darth side, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. See you all next time.